So, guys, recently, Six Flags, right? They've been kind of like this thrill theme park. When I was growing up, they were seen as like, yes, screw Disney, that's for kids. It's Six Flags, it's all about it, the thrill rides, right? And now, in terms of like the social media, the theme park content, all the adults have now. Disneyland has become now like the in theme, right? Kind of like how video games and anime were like that's nerd stuff, and so we're like Disneyland, right? It's like, oh, it's kiddie nerd stuff. Now it's like the in thing, and it's places like Six Flags and those kind of just thrill junkie parks are kind of now going to the wayside, right? We have a lot of Six Flags parks closing down. They're not really Instagrammable. But however, guys, there is a new Looney Tunes land to be had here. I guess Six Flags Magic Mountain, which Canada, I know you have some experience with. I hear seems to be one of the better Six Flags parks, and I've been there only twice in my life. Again, I don't go there a lot. I'm not a huge coaster junkie, but I'm glad there's some investment here because this park really needs it. So, anyways, there is a video here by Attractions Magazine, and we're just going to do like reaction on this, and we'll talk about it if there's anything that comes up. Now, OG, here's the thing. This is why I wanted Universal to go and try to buy the Warner Brothers stuff, so that way they could get this competition with Disney with the Looney Tunes aspect.
Yeah, and before we react to this video, I do want to touch upon these costumes, right? Some of them are actually really good, and some of them not so good, right? I think Taz is amazing. He is so adorable. Like that dude is just he is awesome. I love Taz, and I think Daffy looks great. Like his beak, a well-crafted beak. Tweety, the Tweety looks like Hollywood and Vine Tweety,
yeah.
and Bugs kind of the same energy, right?
Yeah, Bugs and Tweety look like the people that you would see like with the costume head off, like smoking a cigarette.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. So are you guys ready to dive in? And you guys know the routine, right? We can, like, if you want me to pause it, just let me know and we can talk shop.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Magic Mountain for a sneak preview of Looney Tunes Land. I'm joined by some old friends here to come show us their new neighborhoods. We're going to ride some of the attractions, talk to some of the people behind the refresh of this classic area, and we'll just have a good time, right? Or Looney time, should I say. There we go. Let's go check it out.
On Saturday, June 6th,
Bugs Bunny,
Six
bro.
Flags Magic Mountain will unveil their...
I don't know who you were watching, but
that Bugs Bunny, dude. We gotta go back. I gotta see that again. Dude, I'm sorry. It's rough.
Come show us their new neighborhoods. We're going to ride some of the attractions, talk to some of the people behind the refresh of this classic area, and we'll just have a good time, right? Or Looney time, should I say. There we go. Let's go check it out.
On Saturday, June 6th, Six Flags Magic Mountain will unveil their refreshed and reimagined Looney Tunes Land, designed for kids of all ages, even the ones who might think of themselves as grown-ups. The new land offers playful attractions, beloved characters, and 4 distinctly themed neighborhoods that offer fun for the whole family. We spoke with Park President Brian Erding to learn more about this new offering.
Brian, thank you again for having us this morning. The Looney Tunes, like Magic Mountain, are ingrained in Southern California history. They're a part of everything. Yep. Why the refresh? Why not just leave things the way that they were?
As we're looking at Magic Mountain and what experiences we want to provide everybody, and we lean into our thrill capital of the world, thrills has to mean everybody, right? It's got to mean kids. It's got to mean families. And that's why we made this investment, right? We said, hey, mom, dad, they need a place where they can relax and have fun and be immersed in all of the characters and the experiences. And that's what we brought today with Looney Tunes Land.
Wonderful. So one of the big focuses in the theme park world nowadays is immersion and character. So what kind of immersion can we see in Looney Tunes Land?
Well, you're going to see, obviously, more Looney Tunes characters. All of your favorite ones are going to be out. We're going to bring back a show into the new Bunny World Amphitheater.
Love that.
So you and your kids can go on a vacation trip with Daffy and Bugs and see their favorite vacation.
That's actually a pretty cool sign. I will give them credit for that. I like that signage.
I was sitting here, I'm like, I've seen these characters in the parks already. Like, especially here, I already knew that was there. So when you told me this was new, I was like, oh, that's weird. It's already seen these. So it's just a refresh. Yeah. But my thing is like, Oh yeah, a refresh for Magic Mountain, which we obviously got to watch the rest of this, but a refresh for Six Flags, excuse me, is new paint. Literally how it's always been for them. But seeing a new sign like this, like you said, it's actually not a bad looking sign.
Well, and here's the thing too, is they just kind of mentioned it, right? That guests are looking for more immersive experiences, and this is the problem with the current thrill capital parks. Is back in the day that was okay because immersion wasn't really the thing. I mean, yeah, Disney, had it, and Universal to some extent. But now immersion, that's the name of the game, is immersion, theming, atmosphere, right? People want to be immersed in these stories, lands, experiences. And those capital thrill parks don't really offer that. It's just thrills after thrills, upside down, spinning, fast, gotta go fast. And now to stay competitive to some degree, they need to bring something to where there can be some immersiveness, some storytelling, some character interaction, because that's what's happening now. While I know they're still trying to hang on to their thrill capital of the world identity, but I mean, how much of that can you really hold on to?
A
How
lot.
long can you do that?
A lot. And I'm going to tell you that, and that's why I'm glad you brought this up, because this is the one park that's not struggling, from my knowledge. This is the one park that does everything right. This is the one park that gets investment after investment after investment every single year to compete directly with the park over in Sandusky, Ohio. I can't remember the name of it right now, but this has the most roller coasters. It's going to be known for the roller coasters. No one's going to sit here and be like, hey, this park's great. Love all the roller coasters, but fuck those things. Let me ride all these Looney Tune land rides. It's never gonna take over that. And I'll give you a perfect example why. Because they went and they refinished or rethemed and gave us the Metropolis ride, or whatever it's called, with the DC superheroes. So they did like a whole Batman thing. You have Batman, you have this little mini Gotham, and you have the Joker's area, and it has this whole courtyard with for DC. And that ride's ass. That ride went down. It goes down. The animatronics don't work. It didn't pull anybody into this park, and it was tailored more towards young adults and kids. So, is this retheming or repaint of Looney Tunes Land really going to bring these extra kids in? Because what are they going to do when they go on the same ride and eat at the place and go through the Bunny Bowl amphitheater? They're still going to sit there and watch their parents ride on all 19, I think it's 21 roller coasters now that they have. You're still not going to go to that park to bring your kids. I will never bring my kids there until they're old enough or tall enough to ride the rides. So realistically.
So let me ask you, do you think that reason is though because of Magic Mountain's unique situation where they're in Southern California by LA, one of the most populated areas of the country, right? And you got some other Six Flags that are in some other states that are barely even populated. And so this is in a state where it is competing with all the other major theme parks. So in a sense, this park specifically for Six Flags is in a unique position to be heavily invested in because it kind of has to be.
Then it can't be a retheme. It can't be a touch up. It needs to be its own entity. And they're kind of they need to just do it big. And that's how you're going to take a little bit of those people or make this more of a destination park. But what we're saying earlier, that this has a unique sense of being its own entity within Southern California, within the almost half of the world, because there's no other park except for the one over in Ohio that I can't think of. And people are yelling at me in the comments right now. That's the only other park that has like 19 or 20 roller coasters. And though that park has roller coasters that reach up to 400 feet. So when you do those things, you make those parks, you're never going to think about the Bunny Bowl amphitheater. But that having that option there, it is good, because guess what? Now I can drive up and it can be a thought in my head like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can stop here. Let the kids do the Bunny Bowl while I ride on Tatsu or on X2. And then I can come back and see how they're doing. But that's it. But if we're to take first, I'm going to go on with this a little bit, but I have a lot to say before we start this.
No, that's good. It's good.
This needs to happen. So I don't want to take away from what you're saying, because it does need to happen, because there's an expectation when you walk into Magic Mountain, and that expectation is not Disneyland quality theming, but you expect it to be clean. And this is their flagship park. So you walk into this, you need it to be their flagship park. I'll tell you this, I've never walked into this park and seen trash on the floor. I've never seen it just disgusting. I always had good interactions with people. Most of the help I've ever gotten, actually, some of the best help I've gotten was from Magic Mountain, like with the cast members there. But then you go down to Northern California over to Vallejo and you go to their Discovery Kingdom. That place is a piece of shit. There's fucking throw up on the floor. There's fucking piles of shit everywhere. The trash cans smell. The whole place is just disgusting. And they have their own Bugs Bunny land, which theirs is actually very nice. Their setup for their Bugs Bunny stuff is awesome, and it's huge. And they also, little shout out to that park, they have one of like the only butterfly exhibits in like the northern hemisphere or some shit that's like stationed there, not brought in by somebody. Pretty fucking cool. And you don't get upcharged for it, which is awesome. So do they need this? Yes, they do. Is it going to draw people away from going to Disneyland? Fuck no, it's not. But is it going to give that one or two parents, I'm not saying one or two, but like that small percentage of people an extra chance to stop at Magic Mountain and get away with it? It will. Hey, honey, yeah, they have Bugs Bunny there. Of course, let's go. And then in my mind, I'm like, I'm riding on fucking Tatsu, bro. I'm going upside down. Like that's what I'm doing today.
Now, OG, I want to ask you then, Candid. So because we know, right, and I wonder if this is like Magic Mountain management itself, or if it's the overall companies when Cedar Fair and Six Flags merged into the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation. Because OG, again, we went to Knott's Berry Farm recently, and their Camp Snoopy was the new redone version of it. And to be honest, it looked really nice. It looked like a nice little kid area. So I wonder if some of the I don't know 100%. So people in the comments yelling at me too. So but
Cedar
I wonder,
Point, by the way,
is it Cedar Point?
Cedar Point. No, you're right. Cedar Fair, but Cedar Point's the park in Ohio.
Yeah. Cedar Point. But the company Cedar Fair,
correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So those two merged, and I wonder if some of that management there, because we heard about some of the kind of management from some of the Six Flags parks and whatnot, kind of being let go, unfortunately. A lot of restructuring going on. So I wonder if, like what you said, Candid, they're probably trying to reinvest into their heavy hitter parks. Now, when it comes to the coasters, though, OG, I want to ask you, yes, I know they love the coasters. People love coasters. We have Looney Tunes, and they also have DC, like Candid mentioned. Do you think that we could, or they should be doing better thematical themes or elements with their coasters instead of just a track that's painted green or yellow? Could they make show buildings where you go inside, like let's say a Batman ride or a Superman ride or something, and there's actual show elements for the coaster that makes it more thematical?
Yes, because here's the thing, like back in the day, Magic Mountain or these kind of parks, these Six Flagsy kind of parks, were very unique, right? Like, so like if you were a thrill junkie, these were the places you would go. The predicament that these places are in right now is that Disney and Universal, especially Universal, have gotten into this like kind of more of this intense coaster game. We've seen like Velocicoaster, which is crazy. We're getting the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, which is also crazy out here at Universal Hollywood, right? I mean, even Cosmic Rewind is pretty intense, right? So you're getting the thrill, the intensity with these coasters at Disney and Universal now, but they also spend money on the theming and the IP that people care about. So that's cutting into these thrill parks audience, I think, a little bit, because like, why would I go to Six Flags and get like a coaster over like a parking lot when I can get a dope coaster at Universal that's actually themed, right? So I think they are going to have to step it up with the theming, because I think people nowadays expect more from these thrilling experiences. I don't think that you can just have a coaster over like, some gravel and paint it black and yellow and call it Batman. I don't think that's enough in this day and age. I think you have to do more. And I think because of Universal, more Universal than Disney, but these big dogs are doing a lot of these more fancier thrill type coasters. I think it is hurting Six Flags. I really do.
Ken, how about you?
Yeah, and I want to touch on that because I think you're right. And once again, I think we're talking about the wrong park. And not saying that this Six Flags park is overly themed, because it's absolutely not. But there is elements of theming and lands here at Magic Mountain in comparison to other Six Flags I've been to. So I think this topic is a little bit harder to pick a little bit when this is like once again the flagship park where they are trying to do that. So that whole DC area is actually really well done, but it's not blowing me away. Like you're not going to have just like this full immersive world around you, but you're going on Batman ride and you're walking through the gates of Gotham. Everything is themed to be like rustic and old, and you get inside and there's for the Joker, he has his laughing on the wall, and there's just little different things in there. It's dark, it feels demented. Like that to me, it for just being a roller coaster, it's pretty good theming. So you go over to Colossus or Twisted Colossus, which is the big ride that they have in front of the park when you walk in. It's fucking beautiful. That whole area is themed to steampunk. So you have all this different steampunk equipment hanging around, and it's really well done. But then you go past the steampunk thing and you go to the left, and there's a ride called Scream, which is that big ass, I think blue and orange or whatever. That shit's literally over a fucking parking lot. That is the epitome of Six Flags right there. You have all this great theming, and then you have fucking Scream literally on the parking lot. And not just on the parking lot where they just blacktopped it, there's still fucking lines to park your car. Like on the ground. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? So there's little things like that where you kind of sit there and you're like, fuck you, dude. But I do want to say for people listening, like if you haven't been to Magic Mountain, there is some kind of sense of theming or trying. And I think the perfect example of really good theming is they have a ride called Ninja, which is on the top of this mountain, and it's just all Japanese theme. And you walk up in there and it's just fucking awesome. You're in the woods and it's just great. Going back to the merger, if you go to a non-Six Flags park, if you went to a Cedar Point park, those parks are some of the cleanest parks I've ever been to, and not well themed, but everything around it was really well done. So what I mean by that is you had greenery everywhere. They had shrubs, they had bushes, all that stuff was always up to date, and the pathways were always like crystal clear and walking and looks good. Lighting was always good. So you just went into these parks and they were crystal clear and clean. And they're bringing that over to what Six Flags doesn't have, and it's starting to show. But at the same time, like, you're right. What are we going to keep doing to get people in these parks? And I don't think Magic Mountain will ever shut its doors. I think if anything, they're going to shut the ones around it down, and you're going to have 5 main parks open that are actually drawing money in.
I agree.
I don't think that these companies need to waste their money on trying to get the rights to Magic Mountain. Is Bugs Bunny going to really bring in the millions of people for them to spend that money on them, even though they were in debt to, before this? Same thing with DC. Like DC, yeah, that's probably the only thing that they really are holding on to. But is that also crippling DC? And my whole thought behind this process is, DC comes up, that topic comes up, it gets taken by Universal, as it should. Disney gets back the rights to Marvel. Everything goes the way it should go, realistically, and let Six Flags sit in the fucking background. And I think everyone would be okay with that.
Yeah, if Universal had those DC rights, I mean, can you imagine like a fully fleshed out Gotham City? That would be sick.
And everyone would be okay with that. Even the hardcore Disney fans, like, dude, give us our Marvel. You keep fucking DC. Have your fucking 18th Superman. Like, we're okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm not a DC fan unless it's fucking Batman. That's the only one I love me some Batman.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think that like it's funny too because if Universal wants to utilize that superhero island for like DC or something different, I think they should really start. And I talked to Jared and Vash Sky about this recently, but like I think they actually need to start considering doing that sale pretty soon because Marvel isn't as hot as it once was, and right, the market value for the MCU and Marvel stuff is getting lower and lower.
It's Disney's fault. Disney overtapped into a market, and they spread. Sorry for cutting you off, OG.
But you're good.
They spread out certain characters too far that it was just not enough for them to gain traction. But then they shoved our certain characters down our throats to the point where we didn't need it anymore. And I think that's the real problem. And having like Avengers Endgame, like that was it. You ended the fucking saga of everything. You wanted to go on and do what we have next, and you didn't do anything with it. We're still waiting for the next fucking iteration of all this. And then you give us all these little mini timelines of bullshit that no one gives a fuck about, like the fucking Eternals. Like, you give us bullshit. And then now we sit here and half the people are confused. I was talking to my brother the day. I'm like, he was like, oh yeah, you're going to see the new Spider-Man? And I'm like, oh yeah, is that what's going to happen this one? And he tells me a little bit. I'm like, oh. I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened in the last one? And he's all this, and I'm like, dude, I don't think I've seen that one. I'm like, what number is this? He's like, oh, it's like number 4. I'm like, what the fuck? When was the third one come out? And then I started going through my catalog of Marvel movies. I didn't watch Doctor Strange 2, which I heard is bullshit anyways. I didn't watch Doctor Strange. I didn't finish like Daredevil. And then that's what ends up happening. And I can't be the only person that's going through this, where they just get so there's just too much of it. But at the same time, I don't feel like I need to go out and watch it anymore. Not like I used to. So
No,
yeah, it's dying.
Yeah, no, it's dying. It is slowly dying. And you're right. With the cinematic universe thing, I think it was a really cool experiment that worked really, really well up until Endgame, like what you were saying, Cannon. But now it's like it's also like kind of like almost like a deterrent for people, because now it's like, oh man, do I really want to see Doomsday though? Because I haven't seen the last 4 Marvel movies. Am I going to understand what's going on? Right. So now you have this thing where people are like, man, I'm not all caught up though. Is it worth seeing it? Am I going to understand it?
Exactly.
The cinematic universe was like a huge selling point for a long time, but I think now it's actually kind of a liability for them.
They muddied their own water by overdoing it. And what they wanted to do is all these fucking tie-ins. You know, the cinematic universe it's literally the cinematic universe because you created it to be that way. So for them they chose the wrong path by trying to please the hardcore fans, that the people that read the comics, and then also trying to get these new people that never even heard of any of these Marvel characters. And they try to add these little shows so that way it can connect here and here. No one gave a fuck. Give me an Avengers movie. Give me the fucking main character. Give me Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. Let them go on the fucking adventure. No one needs to know what happened in between those things, because you end up putting too much shit out. They didn't do that in the back in the day when we had Blade or Punisher and all those things. They were their own fucking movies, and everyone went and watched them and loved them, most of them. And that's all we needed. If you want to connect something, have that connection of 4 movies, 5 movies, call it a day, end that fucking thing. Now we're going to get Wakanda. Was it Wakanda Forever? Or we had Wakanda Forever. I didn't see that one either. And then people are talking about, oh, let's get a Wakanda Land. Why? Why the fuck would I want Wakanda Land now? It's been like 10 years since that movie came out. And what is that going to bring to this park? And I'm using Wakanda because that's one of the biggest ones I hear, especially when Avatar was going on. But my thing is Wakanda. Sorry, Mike. I don't know what your channel's about right now, dude, but this is what this is what's gone down. I got a lot of feelings. So you're gonna give me Star Wars, which is ingrained in everybody since they were a kid, right? Like, this is it. If you're a dad, you're bringing up your kids on Star Wars, and then we trust you to make us Star Wars, then you fucking don't give us Star Wars. Fuck you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, now you hear Wakanda coming, or if people wanted Wakanda. Do you trust them to be able to give us that? That's the first thing. The second thing is, does Wakanda hold a torch even close to Star Wars? I'm not a Star Wars fan. Everybody that watches these channels knows that. But does Wakanda hold a torch to Star Wars? No, not even close. And I will be the first to admit that. Avengers Campus. Does Avengers Campus hold anything close to what we're getting from what we could possibly get from a Star Wars line? Not at all. And then you get web slingers, the perfect example of why this doesn't work. Spider-Man's forever. I think Spider-Man is a forever character. You can put Spider-Man Land and that will be great. And then you go and do some shit like what they did. That does not work. And this is where Disney has that thing where they have these IPs and they're not utilizing them properly. They don't know how to use them in the parks. And going back over to talking about how they're doing it over in Florida with Universal. Universal with their characters, they use the main characters and they make it all comic book themed, and it does very, very well. To this day, they still have the best Spider-Man ride. Everybody that I know, they say their Spider-Man ride is the best, and that thing's from like the early 2000s or whenever the hell it was made.
Yeah, so like 99 or something like that, right?
There you go. So how does that happen? And that's because Disney does not know how to use their intellectual properties. and they are cheap as fuck, and they cannot do it. And if you need to cut all this out, I'm sorry, Mr. Webba, but that's how I feel today.
No, and you made some great points, and it does kind of tie in though, to be honest with you, because the MCU, the Marvel stuff is interconnected with the Magic Mountain stuff because of the DC component. Like, I wouldn't honestly, this whole redo, this whole refresh for this Bugs Bunny area, Looney Tunes area, I wouldn't be surprised if it was even I wouldn't even be surprised if this was a low-key move on Six Flags part to sort of like to kind of send a signal to Warner Brothers, like, yeah, we're still serious about your IP. Because remember, this whole thing with this whole WB, Netflix, Paramount thing, Warner Brothers is going to have new ownership. So I could see, like, you know, some of this new ownership, you know, well, we know now it's going to be Paramount, but they might not be so keen on this Six Flags deal, right? Maybe they're like, I don't know, man. Maybe we should give it to Universal, right? So there's a lot of them that. So now they got now Six Flags is sort of like selling it to them. Like, see, we're serious about your IP. We're investing in it, you know. So you're not wasting yeah, it's a little bit of a side quest talking about, like, you know, all that stuff, but it kind of isn't at the same time. So
yeah, and it wasn't meant to be a super side quest, but like you said, tying it into reality is where we're at. And I think you're right. I don't think that Six Flags gains as much. I'm not going into Six Flags to say, oh, I'm going to go on a Batman themed ride. I'm going to Six Flags to ride the Batman themed ride, or the ride that is in that Batman themed area. Where I'm going to Disneyland, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go ride in Avatar Land, where I'm like, fuck, I'm in Avatar Land. That's the difference, and you're never going to get that from Six Flags. So why hold on to an IP when no one cares about what it's tied to if they just want to ride the ride? I'm just, and make your money. That's a big thing. Make your money, dude. Yeah. So
well said.
Places to go, which is really cool. We've also introduced some new technology. So on Taz's trail, right, you can experience an AR activation through your smartphone and watch Taz swirl through all of the different places that he's going to go and chase him down. So there's a lot of pieces that you'll see. And then in general, there's just more storytelling, right? Ride Taz's train, listen to how we, you know, look for him and where he's hiding, and see if you can find him when you're out there.
I love that. That's so fun. It's like Pokemon Go, but for the Looney Tunes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's the 55th anniversry of Six Flags Magic Mountain. This refresh is a big part of that celebration.
Bleep that one out.
How do you balance capturing the?
No, what happened?
I was surprised you didn't bleep that one out. You got away with saying the P word on here. That's crazy.
Wild.
The nostalgia and the memories that everyone has, while still introducing new things into the park.
No, right? You know, that's a great question, right? And I think that we strike a really good balance here at Magic Mountain of saying, hey, this is really important to our clientele, so we're going to embrace it and we're going to keep it, or we're going to bring back maybe a name from the past that we had moved away from. But we're also going to add technology, and we're going to add hardscape and shade and all those things that are so important to the client. And that's really kind of how we look at when we go into any project. We say, hey, what's the list we've got to capture? What are the new things we want to bring in? And let's make sure that we're hitting it on all angles.
I love that. So this area is for
kids and families.
What age group?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, if you don't mind. He said a
word
that really, in the business world, I work in sales. He used the word clients. That's the problem right there. That's why this is not going to be successful, because you're looking at your people as clients instead of as families and as human beings. And that's where Disney has that jump. Disney does not go, like, Disney has motivation and they have motives of knowing that they're going to make money, but they're looking at the family aspect of how they're going to make the money, not as each individual person as a client. And that's the fucking problem.
Dude, Candid, that's a great point. Clients, like he's selling insurance or something, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And that's the thing. It's a very like cold sort of like. I mean, when Disney's talking about experiences and stuff, and Universal as well, when you see them do their promotional video, they talk about the guest experience. They're guests in the park. They're not clients. Yep. Wow, that is a fantastic point, and that is absolutely the problem. 100% agree.
the client
I
experience.
think everybody's going to have a really great time here, from your handheld infant, all the way up through your little ones, 8, 9, 10, and 11, right? They're going to have a great experience here.
And I love how he said handheld infant, like it's an iPhone model.
Oh, look, he's happy.
Wow, they come in small sizes.
Dude, the reality here with these corporate guys, like that shirt that he's wearing is probably the first time he wore that shirt. That name badge is probably the first time he wears that name badge. That's the fucking problem. These people do not walk their parks. They do not walk with the guests. They don't sit on the rides with their people like they do in Disney. I mean, Daddy Josh, how many times have you personally, OG, met Daddy Josh?
I've never met him.
Oh, okay. How many times have you seen him in the park, though?
Oh, he's in there all the time. Yeah.
Exactly. You know who he is. You see him. He has a face. Pretty damn nice hair, too.
He does.
Who's this guy?
And everyone's got pictures with Daddy Josh. Everybody, dude. When he was announced to become CEO, everybody and their mom had a picture with Josh D'Amaro. And that says a lot, right?
That's what Walt did.
Yep.
Why can't we follow suit in that same regard?
Yep.
And mom, grandma, everybody, right? They're going to be able to come out and have a good time.
I think that's one of the benefits of this IP is that it's a timeless thing, right?
Exactly.
It's been around since before World War II, and it still is going strong.
Yep.
One last question for you, and this is something I like to ask whenever we are at a new opening. What is your favorite part of this new refresh?
My favorite part of the entire new land, besides just really creating a phenomenal experience for the guests, would be Taz's train ride. You got to get on that, right?
Yeah.
It's such a good storytelling and so much fun. Kids are riding it.
I will say this from the art standpoint. I really love the characters, like when they have them like on signage like this, or even like the crafted characters that are sitting in the planners. Really well done, really like on model. They really look like the actual characters. So the quality is there with like the artistic side. So I will give them credit for that.
Multiple times, just really having a great time with it. So I think we knocked that one out of the park.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thank you so much for answering some questions. I can't wait to see more. The land looks great so far.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
All right.
During our preview, we were given the opportunity to explore Camp Duck Amuck, admire the nods to classic Looney Tunes cartoons in the Bugs Bunny Play Park, and even try to outrun Wile E. Coyote and his never-ending supply of Acme traps in Roadrunner Ridge.
We're about to take a ride on the Roadrunner Express, the higher thrill entry into Looney Tune land, themed, of course, to Wile E. Coyote and his fruitful chase against the Roadrunner. Let's see how the coaster goes.
Like for Six Flags Park, this is actually not bad.
I agree.
This is not bad.
It's agree.
Nice. It's clean looking.
Yes. And here's the thing too. There's a lot of like in our theme park space, we talk a lot about sightlines, right? But not all sightlines are created equal. And I say this all the time with like Fast and Furious, Hollywood Drift. You're on that hill, and yes, you can see everything outward, but that sightline where you can see the whole San Fernando Valley, and you can see the Warner Brothers studio, and you can see Disney and Hollywood basically in LA, matches the theme of Hollywood Drift. So that sightline issue actually works to its advantage. For here too, it's like it's crazy because I was just talking about how like a lot of these theme park coaster companies will just have a bunch of gravel and call it a day. But for this theme though, that works. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner are out in the middle of the desert all the time.
Yeah.
So they can get away with a bunch of gravel and a couple cactuses, and it works really well. I agree with you. It looks great, man.
And it's set up well too. It's not overly cacti. It's not too much signs. The signage that is out there is cool. I love that they're using fake plants like on signs mixed with real plants. I think it adds just a really cool aesthetic to it, and it's whimsical and like just different, and
Yeah.
it's not overboard, but it's also it also looks like they went out of their way to theme it. And I think that's good. Is it the most themed thing I've ever seen? Fuck no, not even close. This ain't even close to what Disney would do. But guess what? It's a lot better than a lot of other parks, and I think this is a top tier for a Six Flags themed area so far.
I agree. What do you think, Bubba? You like it? You think it's pretty good?
Yeah, I think it fits the kind of the desert like landscape, pretty well. Especially the theming actually has natural theming with the hot, Valencia area in the first place. So yeah, so with the rocks, the brushwork, the cacti, and the heat. Yeah, I think it does, and I think that combination of theming does justice for what the IP is supposed to be. So
yeah, well said. Well said.
In Tasmania, we got the chance to sit down with Ken Parks, Vice President of Planning, Design, and Creative Development, to learn more about what to expect from this new edition.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with us today. First off, the entire refresh of the area looks fantastic. Can you talk to us a little bit about what went into modernizing while still keeping that classic Looney Tunes feel for this park?
Yeah, we always listen to our guests, and the guests really, Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes have had a presence here at Magic Mountain for many, many years. But we wanted to do something that was new and fresh. The guests are always looking for ways that they can ride together, so families can do experiences all together and share that. And they also want an area that is relaxing, that has some guest comfort to it. So as we looked, and of course working with our partners at Warner Brothers, Discovery Global, we looked at, okay, what fits that? What's the story we want to tell there? We took the top 4 Looney Tune characters, kind of the echelon of the top. Tweety Bird is in there too, and said, okay, let's take their locations that they're seen in the classic cartoons, and let's kind of mirror their environments. And so that was the real approach initially, was, okay, let's create these 4 immersive lands into one 5-acre family area.
I love it. Yeah, and it's very cool. I love how you're balancing the characters in each land. I love the subtle change in pavement between each one to kind of bring that going. So when I talked with Brian Erning, park president, earlier, he mentioned that there's some technological advancements such as AR integration in some of these rides. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we've been working at a couple of our other parks. We've done some AR experiences, and so we were excited to bring that here. It's an opportunity for people to have some photo ops for their families, but to have them come alive and connect with the Looney Tunes characters in a way that maybe they haven't before. So throughout the land, there are different props and signs that you will use your phone to take a picture as you would, and just suddenly these classic moments out of the Looney Tunes happen in front of you. So my favorite is there's an actual physical left at Albuquerque sign. Bugs Bunny starts to burrow and pops up and says the classic line, "I should have taken the left at Albuquerque." So
that's something that I love, just looking at like the props and things like that. The tying into those classic Looney Tunes cartoons and themes while trying to keep this new modern slant to it. This train ride in itself is such a classic old school kiddie ride. How do you balance that need for rides that are accessible to families and also keeping it new and fresh?
I think one of the things about Looney Tunes that is really, I grew up with them, and they're a master class in comedy. So any comedian will tell you that they cut their teeth on Looney Tunes. So we really wanted to get back in.
That brings up a really good point, because I've went back and watched a lot of the Looney Tunes from first season, a lot of the black and white stuff, and just going forward. And honestly, just these cartoons versus Disney's cartoons in that same era, Looney Tunes was where it was at. Like, Looney Tunes was great. Like,
they were really, so funny. Really like when Bugs would like dress as a woman and stuff, and he was the facial expressions on Bugs was so funny, dude. These cartoons, this IP right here has a ton of potential. Like, if Paramount leans into them and really goes quality again, they can do some amazing stuff. I mean, they were top dog in the 90s with Disney, like Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Tasmania, Freakazoid, all that stuff, man. It was really quality stuff. They can get back
Freakazoid?
to
Fucking love Freakazoid.
Dude, it was so good. It was so good. And honestly, the Warner Brothers studio stores were way better than the Disney stores. Way better.
It needs to come back. But let me ask you this. Is it going to come back because of Six Flags?
No.
I don't think so.
No, this ain't going to move the needle. No. Absolutely not.
Too. So this attraction is great because it's a wonderful ride through a really disciplined landscape environment, but there are a lot of gags along the way. The audio track has a lot of gags built into it. The station announcements have gags built into them, and then it has a payoff that's pretty fun with the She-Devil. That is straight out of Looney Tunes.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking this ride with us. Thank you for giving us some more info on the land. We can't wait to see it open later this year.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. Well, that is going to do it from us here at Six Flags Magic Mountain for our sneak preview of Looney Tunes Land opening later this month. A big thank you to Ken Park and Brian Erding for talking to us about what went into refreshing this classic kids land and making it fun for families of all ages. When you come visit during this 55th anniversary, make sure you stop by, have yourself a Looney time, but most of all, have fun.
Overall, I mean, it's a really quality refresh. Here's the thing too. I think people need to they need to have a different perspective when they experience these kind of things, right? So if you're going to go into this land and you're going to compare it to the Disney experience or the Universal experience, it's going to seem like caca. Okay. But but if you go into this land going, okay, this is a regional park. This is kind of like a Knott's or like a Cedar Fair or like these regional parks. And a lot of these regional parks do have kiddie areas. Well, how does this measure up to other parks' kiddie areas? And honestly, this is up there. This is up there big time. So I don't know. Go ahead.
I think it's not new, but I think it's kind of unfair in a sense of in these parks positions, because I see a lot of times online, people will go to like let's say even Legoland, okay, and they'll say, and again, everybody has different experiences, but some people will be like, I just had the worst experience with my family. It was awful, rude, employees, the food sucked, the lines were too long, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's the comparisons that they always make. They always say, we just got back from like a 3-day Disney trip or a week at Disney World or whatever. And the thing is that when you go to a premium theme park, such as Disney, and even to an extent Universal, if that's like your first theme park, right, now you've already experienced like the highest of the high caliber that a park can offer, right, in terms of overall experience. And then you go to these other parks that are really strong, but kind of just in one category or some categories, like maybe they're clean, and they could be friendly, like what Canada was saying, and then they have really great thrill rides, but is that all they offer? And so when you go from one high tier park to a kind of a lower tier park, and you have the expectations it's going to be the same, you're going to create a lot of disappointment. But that's really on the individuals themselves, though. That's not the theme parks, but that's like the fans, basically.
But see, that brings up the topic too of like, there's a park called Europa, which is over in, I think, Germany, and they don't have Disney themed, they don't have Warner Brothers, stuff like that, but it's still one of the most highly themed parks in all of Europe. And if you ever watch any videos, it like shits on a lot of these parks, especially on Six Flags. Six Flags holds no candle to Europa, and they don't have any of these IP themes. So they use, they'll use classic things like just, I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. They'll have like a Banshee or stuff like things like that are just different, and it just knocks it out of the park. So do I think that theming has everything to do with it? It really does. But how immersive can you get? Does it need to have an IP tied to it? Not all the time for it to be successful. And this is a perfect example of Six Flags not being successful with having some pretty big IPs.
Well, speaking of parks that are blowing stuff out of the water, and will with the new Disney park, and also Warner Bros. We have right here, OG, Merle and Warner Bros. Discovery Global Experiences announces 2 new Disney DC attractions coming to Warner Bros. World at Abu Dhabi. Now we all know Abu Dhabi has become like the almost new favorite coming up, especially Disney. You know, you got Bob Iger in his white sneakers out in the sands of Abu Dhabi, right, with the twin suns, you know, having a good time of the future location of the new castle park, or it probably won't be a castle, but you know, castle park. So I know that there's been like a lot more videos from like content creators of them going out there, seeing all the cool indoor aspects of these theme parks. Ken and OG, have you seen the parks over there? Like there's like a lot of cool indoor environments that they make.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos on it too, and man, if I had the money, if I had the money, I would go there, dude. One of the parks has like the biggest aquarium ever created in like the world. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do you? Number one, you're in the middle of the desert, and you got just gallons of water in this building. It's fantastic. and this is, excuse my language, this is what happens when you have fuck you money, and you're able to do whatever you want to do. And this is it. And that's why Disney's gonna go over there. Disney's not paying the fucking bill for this. They're not. They're letting this oil tycoon do it. And guess what? It's gonna be the best damn Disney park you've never gonna see, because like that's what it's gonna be. And it's gonna be such a great thing for us as fans. And I hate to love it, because what I mean by us having the best time is that we're gonna be able to see what we can have. And we are going to get Disney here, and they're going to be shitting bricks, because look what happened when we saw Tokyo or Shanghai get that Pirates ride. What the fuck did everyone say? Oh, you're giving me Tron, dude, and you're giving them the fucking Pirates ride? Fuck that. So that's going to be different. When you see Abu Dhabi, and they're going to be using new tech, and they're going to put all the money to it. How are the people going to be here's your Floridians? Oh, me too. What about me? Yeah, well, we're all going to be sitting there. Everybody's going to be sitting there. Japan and Hong Kong going to be sitting there too. Like, where the hell are we going to get this? That's how much of a leap that this park's going to have into the future.
No, absolutely. Now here, Ken, it says the two new DC attractions, Kryptonite Collider and Superman
cool name.
Up and Away. That right? Kryptonite Collider. That's a dope name. Are part of the Warner Bros. World Abu Dhabi expansion. The Kryptonite Collider is set to open to the public this year, actually, just next month. So that's pretty cool. And see, here's the thing: it's like, you know, these, you know, they're expanding on already. And OG, I think we did a video right about a Harry Potter Lego thing coming to Abu Dhabi as well. And it's like, this is okay. I want you guys' opinion. Do you think, you know, because right now we have California, we have Florida, right? And Florida's kind of the more theme park, would you say, kind of destination capital in a sense, because they're all clustered together and there's a big array of theme parks. But I don't know, man. I think Abu Dhabi might be the new hitter, probably, because not only because there's so much going on with all the different companies that Abu Dhabi is working with, but just the amount of money they can invest and create these amazing experiences that we just can't probably
get it back
one time.
That's the thing. They're investing to the negative. That, like, normal people don't go to Abu Dhabi. You know how many rules they have? You can't even chew gum there. You can't spit. Like, you can't do a lot of things. I'm not going to go to a park where I have to risk not knowing a law just to be able to go to that park and then get thrown in Abu Dhabi jail. Fuck that. Like, I don't want to do that. And also too, like, with tensions that are always super high in that area, it makes it really hard for Americans to drop everything and go and do these things. So I'm really curious to see all these different places and how they're really going to make that money back, which I don't think they care. But is Disney just doing this because Universal has their own fucking theme park, or Warner Brothers has their own theme park? I think so. I think, once again, someone was like, here's a whole bunch of stacks of money. We want to use your name, Disney. Is that okay with you? And they're saying yes. Do whatever you want with our IPs. Just don't make it look dumb. And they're like, okay, don't make it look dumb. Freaking Galaxy's Edge, we got you, no problem. And they're gonna go and do whatever the hell they want to do with it. But I'm never gonna be able to get there. I'm not going to Abu Dhabi.
No, the best part about the Abu Dhabi thing for us here in the States is that this company is gonna write the check for this whole park. So all of that research and development is going to be paid for. Exactly. So it'll be cheaper now to bring it over here to California. and maybe Florida if they complain enough on
I got a question. I got a question about that, Arnie. Is Disney that? I remember where I'm at right now. Is Disney that? I don't know what word to use now. Is Disney those people that would go in because they see that unlimited resource, that unlimited untapped flow of money to do research for things that they say it's going to go into this park, but they do research for other things? Do you think they would stoop that low to do that and be like, oh yeah, this was meant for the Abu Dhabi park. Oh wait, we're not going to use that anymore, and then bring it back here?
Unless there's like a contract maybe that they have with them.
Yeah.
And,
that's interesting. Go ahead, Webba.
Oh, and also I have another question for you guys too about like like Warner Bros, Disney, right? When it comes to Abu Dhabi, and do you think, because like we have Tokyo, we have Abu Dhabi, do you think going forward in the future with any future parks for like like Warner Bros, Universal, Disney, Merlin, whoever, right? Do you think that they're going to start looking at places or companies that will be the ones to fully, at least have to fully fund these projects? Because now they see, hey, we can just take all the money from like the licensing deals. They make it and they operate. We don't have to do anything except just our Imagineers, our creative workforce, our Merlin Magic Makers, or whoever, Universal Creative. We work with them to build the IPs that we own, but we're pretty much just getting money off them. We don't have to fund any of this, and we're just making money. So do you think
the Oriental Land Company?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that, do you think going into the future, do you think instead of these companies, these big companies investing their own money into newer parks in other areas around the world up front from their own cash, do you think that they're going to look at other companies who have the money and the means to
Disney's brand is so big that people will give them money to go negative because they know they're going to make the money back in the long run. Does WB have that? They don't have that. Yeah, they have a lot of amazing IPs that they have, but there's no proven fact that those can translate into a theme park. But you have a few that did, like Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter was the outlier of that, which was inevitable, and they did it the right way. You could have fucked up Harry Potter and not did what they did at Universal Parks, and it wouldn't have went the way it has. And I think a perfect way to see it is like you look at Universal and Simpsons. I mean, it's not really hard to make a Simpsons land, but it's going away. You have a really, really recent one with the Minions. Minions didn't get their own land, right? And they just have like a couple little things here and there. That's a huge franchise. So what are you really going to get from Warner Brothers that's going to be able to say, hey, you know what? Let me throw all my money at this and let me have your IP. So I'm going to make a lot of money back. You're not, unless it's Disney. And I think that's why a lot of these places don't do that. And that's why I think that once someone said, hey, let me foot that bill for you, Disney, that they raise their hand, even though logistically it doesn't make any sense for Disney to have a park in Abu Dhabi.
Sorry, okay, go ahead.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
OG, what do you think? Do you think that's a possibility where these companies can just be like, hey, we want to build a park, like let's say in Australia, but we don't want to pay for it, so we'll put a park there, but you guys got to be the ones to fund it. We give you the licensing for it, all that stuff, but you pay us everything. What do you think? Do you think that's the plan going forward, or
it's for Disney? Disney's a unique animal, kind of. Like Disney's very fickle with where they put these parks because even though they're not paying for it, their name is on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So if they just build these parks willy-nilly and they're not paying for it, they're just licensing it out and they're making money for sure. But the thing is like if to have a Disney park fail and have to close would be a huge black eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're gonna see it a whole lot. Like I don't think we're gonna see like just tons of Disney parks opening. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think so. No, I think Disney's always gonna be very selective. Plus, the more scarcity makes it more of a premium product.
Right. So OG, let me ask you that then. Then why is Universal not following suit? Why is Universal giving us these weird little mini land parks?
Well, sorry, real quick. Sure. They're going to the UK. And I've been saying this for a long time. Universal is going to the UK and they're going to be competing with Merlin, who's based out of the UK.
Big.
right? So not only did they have Epic Universe, they had they're having the two HHN, all year round Halloween places, and then they have just Universal Kids that's opening up. Now they're having Universal United Kingdom, so they're expanding big time.
They are. Well, and I think Universal's vision is different than Disney's too. Like Disney wants to be seen as like the Gucci of theme parks. You know what I'm saying? Very premium product, more pricey, more premium. That's like the vision, right? I don't think Universal wants to go in that direction. I think Universal wants they want their tentacles in everything. They want to do the regional park thing. They want to do the Disney style big destination thing. They probably want to do cruise lines. I think Universal just wants to get into everything.
Dude,
but
Pokemon.
I don't. Oh, dude, that's huge.
I can't even. There's nothing. And we talked about this before. There's nothing on this planet that's going to bring more people in than fucking Pokemon, IP wise, anyways.
Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, Pokemon's
they did it.
It's gonna crush it. Yeah,
but they can't do the same thing they did with Mario. They need to give it its own proper location, and I just don't see. I haven't been to Universal over there, so I can't tell you how big that area is that they're putting it in, the Continental or whatever it was. But this is a project that needs to be done very, very well. It can't be a Star Wars mishap, with Pokemon. And I don't think Universal does that. Like Universal hasn't done anything for us to be like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Even with The Simpsons, like I mentioned earlier, it was still themed very well. It just, I feel like Simpsons is just not the everlasting time, which is weird to say because it is technically like the most like longest lasting thing. Just it doesn't sit and resonate with a lot of people anymore.
Right, and it's a great show, but sometimes things like don't translate into the real world as well. Like I love Family Guy, dude. I can watch Family Guy. I can binge watch that show all day long. I think it's hilarious. But do I want to visit that world, Quahog? No,
don't need to.
No, I don't want to go visit Quahog. These prime time, like networky, like animated shows are like the animation is always kind of crude and like kind of simple. And that doesn't really work in a real world theme park in a lot of ways. And Simpsons is like that for sure. But who knows? Maybe, I mean, it's interesting because there was actually just a rumor the other day. Well, not even a rumor. The guy from one of the showrunners or something from The Simpsons was saying that they're working with Universal on some more Simpsons stuff. And I was like, that's weird. Now, it could be HHN. It might be Treehouse of Horrors or something for cool. HHN. Yeah, that'd be sick. But that was kind of surprising. So maybe Disney's like, hey, we don't have plans right now for anything Simpsons in our parks. So Universal, have at it. Yeah, have at it, boss. And Disney still gets a paycheck, even though Universal is using it. So why not make that money in the meantime?
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's true. And I trust Universal with it.
Me too. Big time.
Well, boys, any other thoughts or questions about what we talked or saw today?
No, I've got everything I needed out. I mean, I just want to thank you, Webba, for being a fantastic host. And this was a fun time, dude.
Absolutely. Well, I have to thank you, both of you gentlemen, for being on Webcast Citizen today. Ken and Camper, where can everybody at home find you on social media, sir?
Yeah, thanks again. Sorry if I hijacked a little bit of this. I just have a lot of passion, especially when it comes to other parks outside of Disney. I do a lot of research. I've been on a lot of roller coasters. I've been to a lot of different theme parks, and to this day, stuff does not come close to Disney. So when we're having these conversations, you're right. Everything is going to be compared to that. And people out there that think that highly themed stuff is going to happen at these other parks, it realistically is not going to be that way. But at the same time, what we saw today, I think, was a very, very well done land. And it's gonna do well for what that park has already. And it's not gonna bring in extra people, but it's gonna have people feel more cohesive and have a better day in the parks. So I'm okay with it. But otherwise, you can find me, Ken Camper, over on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok, where I talk a lot about Disney, things I like, things I don't like, and theme park stuff. And if you don't like it, tell me about it, and then I'll tell you how I feel about it.
There we go. Well, OG, man, myth, legend, Mr. Big Hair. Where can everybody at home find you on social media, sir?
You can find me right here on YouTube at Mr. Big Hair 55, dude. Let's go. No, you can find me on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking a lot of theme park stuff. But we also dip into the studio and the financials with we have a great OG55 family. Canda's on there all the time. Webb is on there all the time. We got Mr. Seymour Duck and Jared from Capture the Magic. A lot of great people. So check us out over there, Orange Grove 55. Also Instagram, Orange Grove 55, and also on X. I'm still on X. I don't know why, but I'm still there. Orange Grove 55.
There is, everybody. Well, make sure you all go subscribe and like these fellas' channels and their social media pages. Until next time, we will see you all on Webcast Citizen. Catch you later.